Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here, hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome, my friends, to today's episode of Top Deck, where we are covering a historic top 500 Selesnya Ramp deck by Jub77. We are going to take advantage of the historic all-access Friday Night Magic to take a look at this list here. Appreciate you tuning in. If you have questions, if you have comments, please let me know down below or in the description. You can find the Discord information as well as this deck list and the timestamps where we will cover the strategy objective of this list. We're going to cover your boarding for best of 3. We're going to play that competitive Magic for you today in Friday Night Magic, all access. And then on top of that, we'll do a retrospective where this might fit in the meta, my friend. So really looking forward to this. And we'll talk a little bit about the sideboarding there for our best of 1 matches nonetheless. So with that, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and talk about what we have going on here with our top 500 Selesnya Ramp list. This list is about the ramp. So you're really trying to get to your turn 5 and your turn 7s really fast. What I like about this as well, curves nicely, but we also have shifting Ceratops, which, as many of us know, the Jeskai decks have been absolutely killer, as well as the Izzet coming off the back of Mystical Archives. So this is a great answer for us for this deck in terms of a main board. Now, this deck is really a mid-rangey to late game type deck. When we look at ramp decks, it's about expediting the late game, pulling it in early, and doing high value damage by sucking up a turn and playing those lands. So that is what the strategy objective of this list is. So again, if you have questions, if you have comments, let me know. We are going to talk about your sideboarding here for best of 3. We're going to break that down by 3 things: aggro, mid-range, and late game, my friends. And very important here, that is a little bit different to some extent when it comes to historic. So the biggest things here with historic and aggro, they're going to be things like mono red aggro. We got burn decks. We got Boros burn. We also have our lovely mono black aggro. It's been doing really well as well. We got the Izzet Phoenix deck, kind of a bridge to mid-range game as well. We also have some of the Coco decks, again, similar style. And then on top of that, we got our tribal decks, Elves. We got humans. We also have good old Gabos. And we may consider even some of the Auras decks here, again, kind of aggro to mid-range. So with that, what do we focus on? Creature-based decks, we're going to play Deck and Stone. Boom, get them off the board. That's going to be key. Additionally, you might want to play, depending on what they have, Questing Beast is always a nice card in terms of holding up some of the stuff a little bit earlier. We can play Elspeth Conqueror's Death if they do have that 3-level kind of creature curve. It works better in kind of the mirror matches and those things, so keep those things in mind. Then as we move off of our aggro, we go to mid-range, we have decks like Arcanus, Rakdos Arcanus. We got Grixis kind of controlling that space a little bit. We talked about the Phoenix decks. We also have our lovely Sacrifice decks. We have Jund, we have Rakdos. Those ones all making a play, and other variants here. We also have this deck you could consider, again, slightly being a late game deck. Here we're gonna have to think about it. If they're not as creature based, certainly if they are, we can play similar stuff. If they're not, we can go Relic of Progentis. This is going to be key here to get more cards out of the graveyard. We don't want them playing those, so that's going to make a big difference. The other thing that you can consider against the aggro, and as we move into mid-range and late game, is Questing Beast, obviously. You could also think about Nissa Vital Force if they are stealing stuff, sacking it. This gives you the ability to pull something back. Also a nice ability to get a 5/5 elemental. So this way you kind of evade some of the kill and some of the pull. So that's always a good choice there as well. Then as we move into the late game, or even some against the dragon decks, you can certainly play Baneslayer Angel there. I missed that one in that space, but that's kind of mid-range late game. Then last but not least, we got the late game decks. These are some of the other Grixis control, Dimmer control. We have Azor's control. We do have our Jeskai friends here as well. In this space, you're gonna want to go fast. You're gonna want those Questing Beasts to really take things down. Elspeth Conqueror's Death's gonna help you with Fury. It is an option to pulling things off the board. Again, Relic of Progentis if they are playing some of those cards out of the graveyard and things, playing Gearhawk and that stuff. So All good options here. How would we board? Again, I would look to really change some of these things up, pulling some of your top end a little bit further, or even taking a risk and mixing some of this stuff up. But I'm not as fan of touching ramp when you're at ramp, but really more so focused on pulling down the curve here. So that, my friends, is the strategy objective of this list, being kind of that mid-range late game, skipping the turns, getting the ramp, playing the bombs, going to town, making sound noise, and making your opponents go home. And then we covered how you're going to board against aggro, mid-range, and late game. So if you got questions, if you got comments, let me know. We're going to go play that Magic here today. Competitive, I'll say, here in our Friday night all access historic event. So really, really looking forward to that. Got my lovely Elshnorn in there, which is a big pickup, by the way, from Anthology 5, so I forgot to mention that. But let's go ahead here and play some matches. We are going to play 3 best of ones for you here today. Really, really looking forward to it. Again, still going to be competitive because we got a broad range of things. Everyone else will be bringing the decks that they may want to be trying to craft. We go first. I am going to keep this. We got a 1, 2, 3, and moving. We got a nice turn here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it off right away, which is too bad. So we're going to go to our turn 2, and it's going to be a little bit awkward, but that's okay because we still like what we have here, and we'll deal with it because that's what we do. So not every hand's going to be perfect, and I don't believe in showing you a perfect video. So appreciate everyone's support as always, and one of the flavors that I like to bring here for you as well. So T-Man main was. All right, so we got Izzet Phoenix? Is it Jeskai? Certainly a brainstorm. So let's see what we can hit here with Jub's deck, and we will absolutely go from there. Boom. Look at that. Now we got our turn 3 loose. Now, at least the good news is if we do hit a land, we can play our Ceratops. If we don't hit a land, we can play our Cultivate. Maybe. It might cover. Memory Lapse. Everyone loves that card in Historic. Boom, let me kick that back for you. Boom. Boom, boom. That's what I like to say. Now, by the way, what I have didn't mention is we have started a lovely Jank series too, so you can absolutely check that out. If you have Jank decks, please, please, please feel free to submit those. I love seeing what you guys and gals are doing, and love to get it in. Super fun. Been playing on Twitch. Absolutely love to showcase your stuff. We have a lot of fun. So you can check me out there, and you can check me out in some of these other areas as well. Question is, do we go here or do we go hard on the ramp? We can go hard and not go home. It's ramp deck. We gotta go for the ramp. So let's do that. That puts us at 5 next turn. Remember, shifting Ceratops is not going to get blocked. So essentially, one of the reasons why I did that is, encountered. Essentially, one of the reasons why I did that is whether we played that there or we played it 1 turn later, we can drop this and play haste. So, and they're not going to be able to do anything. So this is even better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even better for us now. Because we can do this. We won't get Elshnorn. We can get this on. And we can do this. Now, that's going to be worth an axe. But that still gives us an opportunity to get Elshnorn on the board. And I want to get Elshnorn because this card is just awesome. Boom. Uh-oh, here it comes. Gotta bring in the lava axe, huh? 5 damage. Ooh, nope. Alright, we're good. We're in a real good spot. So this is gonna be pretty sweet. So we're gonna see Elchnorn pop on here. We're gonna see everything else get real big. Which is great. So this is certainly a Phoenix deck. No Phoenix in hand. Yeah, you're not going to want to do that. 3 Elchnorns. Boom! We're going to get the damage in. Boom! Now that is a lovely, lovely sound effect, my friends. Question is, are they going to get their flyer? I don't know. And Elchnorn's vigilance, too. Ooh. I know the feeling when you don't hit the Phoenix. It's pretty rough. It's pretty dang rough. Boom! That is right on par with our ramp deck. Now, I get where they're coming from. We have been there. If you watch my Izzet Phoenix deck video, we know exactly how it feels. Oh, love it. Love the 20 gems. All right, let's go ahead. On to our second best of one here. Now, Phoenix is absolutely a top deck. We got Tronal Dump on player. All right, that's pretty good. We go first. We like it. We're gonna keep it. Absolutely. Or Forest. We're gonna pay the 2 because that's what we're gonna do. Turn 3. Do we play anything? I don't know. We have a turn 4. We love some extra ramp. Uh-oh, we got an Elves deck here. We got an Elves deck. This is gonna be a problem for us. We don't have a turn. We'll wait. This could be a problem. Good best of 1 matchup. Obviously, best of 1's a little bit different. Ugh. War Master. Ugh. Oh, we need our Elchnorn. Absolutely here. We're gonna do this. Throw that on there. Now, we could have used that to go find something. All right. So we got a wall up here. So we absolutely need to go find that Elch. It's going to rip a new one in here. We got to do it fast. We got to do it real fast. We will play this. I'll let them start losing a bunch of guys, by the way. Absolutely. Ooh. Ooh, there you go. lose a bunch of guys. Good for them on the Coco there. Again, Elshnorn gone. Fortunately, that's not what we have. So let's see where we end here. Oh, very fast. Very, very fast. Elves is so good. So consistent in best of one. One of the reasons why it is one of the best decks. Oh, could we have got to Elshnorn? Yes. Would have been close. All right. We got one more best of one here, and then we'll go back and talk about it in terms of where it might fit in the meta. And then we'll also go back and we'll talk a little bit about boarding there. Deck and Stone is the big one there. In the other matchup, we probably would have played the Progentis, which would have been just fine. Opponent goes first. We'll keep this because we got double ramp and cultivate, and we got our Bane Slayer. So let's go ahead and we'll play that, and we'll stick with it here. So this is a lovely Reanimator deck. So we got to be real careful here. So the way this works is they will pull things and bust around with their sideboard, and that will be the key here for them. And we'll throw that one down. Grizzly Salvage. Now they have two of them. So next turn, they have it. So what they do is you return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. You play this guy, and then you get into a very nice loop. So here's how this works. Pull Ultimatum. Play those cards. All right, where are we going here? So again, here is where you play Progentis, pull this stuff out, key piece being Scholar. Now would break the deck. Works better in best of 3, not so much in best of 1, obviously, but that is what we're playing with here today. Uh-oh. They may have DC'd. Alright. Choose one. We'll get rid of that one. That is brutal. They still had another one, so would not have made a difference for us. So brutal with all the Praetors. Look at that. Turn 4 deck. Very, very nasty. Very, very nasty. Now, if anything, Anthology 5 has really, really helped this deck. And you can see that here with all the Praetors, all the play that's going on, Scholar of the Trove, everything else, and the ability to constantly pull the stuff back and do a lot of stuff. The haste, everything else as well, we'll let them play it because it's always good to see all these things. There, my friends, is the entire Anthology 5 right before your eyes. Love it. So again, top 500 deck. Let's go ahead. We'll talk about today's matchups. Again, best of 1, all access. Very excited about that. So here is what we have. We played a top 500 Selesnya Ramp. Obviously a best of 3 deck. So the meta is a little bit different. We'll talk about that here. So we played, so in best of 1, we took down Izzet Phoenix deck. We also played a aggro deck with Elves. And then also we ended up against a nice 4-color Reanimator deck. So here's kind of where this sits. In terms of best 1, we'll talk about some of the best of 3 kind of sideboard here first. Relic of Progentis is certainly what we pull in against our lovely, obviously, graveyard hate decks, which are both the Izzet Phoenix as well as the 4-color Reanimator. Deck in Stone, this also gets rid of everything. All their creatures, it's controller controls with the same name. So this would have been a good one against the Elves deck. Here, as we look at some of these other things, Redain, God of the Worthy could have been something. But we didn't really play any of the other stuff that would have been needed in terms of some of those late game type things. So it really would have been Deck in Stone, Relic of Progentis. In terms of what we would have brought in, what would we have dropped? We would have definitely dropped some stuff at the top end here. I would have potentially focused on some of the life gainers. It's good against the aggro, but the aggro here is so good that you don't have to worry about that as much. So Planeswalkers, in terms of best of 1, we went 1 and 2 today. The historic matches are so fast. I'm so glad we had an opportunity to check this out, even if it's one of those shorter videos now, but it's great. And then in terms of best of 3, certainly sits a little bit different. So here's how we're looking at it in terms of best of 1. Best of 1, I don't think this deck is as strong, does have potential. It's very, very tough against things like aggro. You really have to be curving well. We aren't going to be doing too much early on, so we can get a turn 3, turn 4, and a potential turn 5 play. But again, Elves and those things are going to be more consistent. So this is probably more of a low tier 2, tier 3 deck, in my opinion there. In terms of best of 3, as we begin to go that way, the lineups are a little bit different. It can be slightly heavy, but if you get to that Elshnorn, it's certainly going to make a difference. Again, I would look at probably similar style. Again, it's a top 500 deck. Don't get me wrong, but that's kind of where I'm thinking it sits in the meta right now. The curve, you got to play really well. It's going to do better in best of 3 because we can board these things in. So maybe a little bit more top side, tier 2, mid tier 2, bottom side, kind of that tier 3 spot. So again, here's what we had going on. Top 500 Selesnya Ramp list. Again, Jub 77 here. So congratulations on doing that. very, very excited and glad that we were able to take a look at this one here, my friends. If you have questions, if you have comments, let me know down below. Would love to hear from you. With that, flip me a like if you enjoyed today's video. Would love to see that always. Great way to support the channel down below in the description. Thank you always so much. Great ways to connect. With that said, Planeswalkers, you stay safe, you take care. We got more top decks coming your way, jank stuff. Feel free to drop that in the Discord or let me know. Friday night meta and tier lists coming your way. So take care, Planeswalkers. Mythras out.